Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever stared at yourself in a bathroom mirror just repeating positive affirmations until you were literally blue in the face, only to walk out the door and feel exactly the same crippling self-doubt, well, you're in the right place. Today we're going to completely dismantle one of the absolute biggest misconceptions in personal development, this crazy idea that confidence is some magical feeling you have to somehow summon before you can actually do something. Based on an incredible masterclass in mindset by entrepreneur Layla Hormozi, we're going to dig into the actual biological and psychological mechanics of building real, unshakable self-belief.
All right, here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll expose the great confidence myth. Then, we'll see how confidence really comes from action. After that, we'll talk about why you absolutely must track data over chasing dopamine, how tiny tweaks build unstoppable momentum, and finally, how to make fear your lifelong companion.
Okay, let's jump right into section 1, the great confidence myth. We have to start here because, honestly, most of the standard advice out there completely misses the mark.
I want to hit you with a totally counterintuitive question right out of the gate. What if confidence has absolutely nothing to do with feeling ready? Think about it. Society is always telling us to believe in ourselves first, right? We're told to write stuff like, I am capable, I am strong, on sticky notes and just wait for the confidence to magically wash over us. But waiting to feel ready, that is exactly the trap that keeps us totally paralyzed.
Here's where we get it backwards. The myth tells us that confidence is an input, like it's a fuel you need to inject into your tank before you can achieve anything. But the truth? Confidence is an output. It's the byproduct of taking action and keeping the promises you make to yourself, especially on the days you really don't feel like it. It's kind of like going to the gym. You can't just sit on the couch wishing you were fit and expect the muscles to just appear, right? You got to get in the gym and lift the weights. Confidence works the exact same way. You have to put in the work to get the output.
And that brings us perfectly into section 2. Confidence comes from action. Because if confidence is a muscle, the only way to build it is through undeniably hard reps.
To really picture this, let's look at Layla Hormozi's origin story. Back when she was 21, she moved all the way across the country to California. She had zero clue what she was doing, basically zero confidence, and her bank account was rapidly draining down to her last $5,000. She takes a job at 24 Hour Fitness, thinking she's going to be using her exercise science background. But by day 2, she realizes, wait, this is actually a super high-pressure marketing and sales job. She was completely terrified. Massive imposter syndrome kicks in. But instead of quitting and running away, she just started putting in the reps. For her first 30 days, she grinded from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. She read 5 different books on sales. She drilled her pitches constantly. In fact, she was so insanely nervous for her first real pitch, she almost threw up in the bathroom beforehand. But she didn't leave. And when she finally closed that first sale, it actually wasn't even about the money. It was the fact that her beliefs about her own limitations were instantly shattered.
The crucial takeaway here is that success does not discriminate. It doesn't care about your background, it sure doesn't care about how scared you are. Over time, your brain gathers objective evidence to build your new identity. I mean, it's actually absurd to expect your brain to feel confident about something you have literally never done before. Your brain is just sitting there waiting for you to prove it.
So how do you keep proving it on those days when you feel absolutely terrible? Well, that is section 3, tracking data over dopamine.
This is where it gets fascinating. We have to learn how to separate our feelings from our facts. If you're letting your daily mood dictate your progress, you are setting yourself up to fail, because human emotions are incredibly volatile. You might have a Tuesday where you feel like an absolute fraud, a total failure. But if you look at a daily tracking sheet, the hard data might show you still logged 5 concrete wins that week, regardless of how bad you felt.
We've got to rely on data over dopamine. Look at Layla's journey to lose 100 pounds. She didn't judge your progress by comparing Monday morning to Tuesday afternoon. No way. She tracked her daily inputs and looked at the overarching trend from Monday to the next Monday. Tracking your wins fights your brain's natural negative bias. Let's be honest, our brains absolutely love to dramatically hyperfixate on the one bad day we had, while completely ignoring the 5 fantastic ones. By keeping a hard log of your actions, you literally override that dramatic emotional narrative. You're proving to your brain with undeniable data that you are a person who keeps their word.
But hey, what if you're trying to track your actions and the step you need to take just feels overwhelmingly, paralyzingly big? Let's talk about section 4, the power of tiny tweaks.
I want you to focus on the number 7 for a second. There's this great story about a fitness coach who had a client wanting to lose a massive amount of weight.
But for the first 7 days, the coach didn't tell him to eat less, he didn't tell him to go to the gym. The only task this client had for the first 7 days was to make his bed and take a picture of it. Just that. Why? Because sometimes you have to start so impossibly small that you cannot lose. Making that bed every single day gave him a tiny, undeniable hit of accomplishment. It started building the identity of someone who executes a plan.
Think about how this applies in the corporate world. Let's say you're terrified of public speaking. You don't just jump straight onto a keynote stage. You use a laddering technique. Step 1, you just speak for 60 seconds on a quick Zoom huddle. That's it. Step 2, maybe a few days later, you just give one quick shout out to a coworker during a bigger meeting. Step 3, eventually you run half of a meeting. Step 4, suddenly you're doing a full presentation to the whole company. You slice the goal down into such tiny tweaks that you are just checking off these little baby steps every single day. You completely bypass your brain's alarm system until before you know it, you are stage ready.
Which leads us perfectly into our fifth and final section. Because look, no matter how small you make the steps, fear is eventually going to show up. So let's talk about how to make fear your companion.
If you take literally nothing else away from this explainer, let it be this exact phrase: emotion follows motion. Please do not sit around waiting for the fear to leave before you take action. Spoiler alert, it is never going to leave while you are standing still. You have to literally behave your way into the emotion you want to feel.
To do that, we kind of need to redefine what fear actually is. Fear is a mile wide, but it's only an inch deep. If you feel absolutely terrified before doing something new, it doesn't mean you're broken. It actually means your brain is working perfectly. Your brain is just a biological machine, and it's wired for survival, not success. Its only job is to keep you from dying, so anything new instantly registers as a potential threat. You have to logically detach from that panic, knowing it's really just a biological misfire.
And because it's purely biological, it actually has an expiration date. Physiologically, here's the timeline of what actually happens in your body. When you step onto a stage or walk into a terrifying meeting, at 0 seconds, your heart rate might spike to 190 beats per minute. Your mouth goes completely bone dry. But if you just tolerate that discomfort instead of running away, at 15 seconds, your heart rate naturally drops to 150. At 1 minute, saliva actually returns to your mouth. By 2 minutes, the acute fear is virtually gone. You can't control the fear hitting you, but if you step in and hold your ground, your biology has no choice but to naturally calm down.
All right, so let's lock in the ultimate new rules of confidence. Number 1, do it scared. Seriously, stop trying to meditate or manifest the fear away. Tolerating discomfort is your ultimate superpower.
Number 2, track your wins. You cannot build a case for your own greatness on vibes and feelings alone. You need hard, undeniable data. Check those boxes every single day.
Number 3, keep promises to yourself. Your identity is shaped entirely by the commitments you honor when nobody else is looking, especially when you really don't feel like doing it. That right there is the raw material, the ultimate input that creates the output of confidence.
I want to leave you with this kind of weird but amazing visual. Try to imagine fear not as some big, terrifying monster blocking your path, but just as a weird little friend. Take that fear, zip it up in your purse or throw it in your backpack and just carry it with you. You know it's there, you feel it fluttering in your stomach, but you are bringing it along while you do the work anyway. So I have to ask you, what fear are you going to put in your purse today? Go out there, take the action, and let the confidence follow. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep building that evidence.